And today I'm here to talk to you guys about the music genre of metal. Metal is not just one specific genre, it's actually I guess you could say the mother genre of smaller subgenres that mixed with each other and have evolved ever since the beginning of whatever you will call heavy metal. Just imagine a big tree and the branches are subgenres of metal, and the leaves are basically like the bands that are in that specific genre. And today I'm going to talk about three main points. First, I'm going to talk about the origins of metal. Second, I'm going to talk about the evolution and some of the bands. And lastly, I'm going to talk about metal and the media and the censorship that metal has gone through. First, I'm going to talk about the origins. And the origins basically started with Black Sabbath. It's debatable which band was actually the first ever band that was coined heavy metal. But like bands like Alice Cooper or Led Zeppelin, some fans say that it was them, but in general, most metalheads will say that it was Black Sabbath with the guitarist of Tony Iommi, who he created the heavy, dark sound that originated originally from blues and jazz. It originated from them, but they gave it a more heavier and darker tone. And in the documentary entitled Metal, it Headbanger's Journey, that came out in 2005 by a sociologist named Sam Dunn. He went on a journey basically discovering like the bands of metal, and basically the fans and the censorship and the sound. And the sound, it originated from jazz and blues, and it like the vocals, Dina Weistin, a sociologist from DePaul University, said that the vocals are basically inspired by classical music, like opera, because in early heavy metal, like they had high-pitched voices, like Iron Maiden or AC/DC. They all had high-pitched voices to overpower the heavy sound that was behind them, which Robert Walsner, a musicologist from UCLA, said that each band that's in metal, they need a distorted guitar, heavy bass, and basically just be really loud in order to have the core of what is metal. And Black Sabbath, they started in Birmingham, England, with well, basically heavy metal started from England. Like most of the bands, they came from Europe, and then they came here. And then after heavy metal, more bands uprooted from them, but they were different. Like like a couple of subgenres was heavy metal, glam metal, thrash metal, death metal, black metal, grindcore, like deathcore, and all these genres basically combined with other music genres. Like for example, thrash is a mixture of punk and metal, and then after heavy metal, another popular one that came out like in the 80s was glam metal, and glam metal was basically like bands like Poison, Skid Row, Guns N' Roses, or Motley Crue. And these bands basically, they wanted to be different from like their heavy metal predecessors, so they dressed like women. They had like really long hair, and they put like facial makeup, and they were like skin tight jeans, because to them there was nothing more masculine than to be feminine. Like in one of the covers for Poison, they have a cover that looks like something that would come out of a girl magazine, because they're all dressed like, they all just like have like really heavy makeup, and they all look like chicks. But then in the same time, on the opposite of glam metal, there was thrash metal. Thrash metal basically did not like glam metal because they saw them as homosexuals. But in thrash metal, basically it was a faster pace and with high pitched vocals. And some thrash bands were like Anthrax, Megadeth, Pantera, Metallica, or yeah. And then some glam metal. Oh, I told you guys that. And then after thrash metal, in Florida, some bands wanted an even darker, like a darker sense of metal. So they came up with death thrash metal. Was basically sounded like thrash metal, but basically it was, the vocals were different, and they had like a darker, and their lyrics were more like satanic or death like inspired. And after thrash metal, then it came death metal, and then after death metal, it led to like black death metal or like deathcore, and which deathcore was basically death metal mixed with hardcore, and that was some of the evolution. And then in the media, basically in the media, like in the early 80s, I mean in the late 80s and the early 90s, I don't know if you guys ever remember watching MTV, and they will show a lot of metal bands, like, but then once the metal scene started dying out, then you'll see bands like Nirvana or like Godsmack, and then that's when Korn came up, and like Limp Bizkit. So after that, metal kind of went underground, what most metalheads would consider actual metal, not rock. It went underground, and then like there's still bands playing right now that are thrash, they're like black metal, or like they're death metal, but they're not really in the media anymore. Now in the media, it's more mainly like just regular metal or just rock, and they're highly censored. Because in 1984, Dee Snider, the singer from Twisted Sister, he had to go speak in I guess to Congress or Senate, because Twisted Sister and metal, they were coming under fire from the PMRC, which is the Parents Music Resource Center, which basically wanted to put on their CDs the parental advisory, because their lyrics were seen as satanic or gory or very sexual, and it was seen as inappropriate for younger children. So Dee Snider went, but then he eventually wasn't able to basically win his case. So they were marked, I think it was called the 12 dirty dozen of music at that time, which included like other genres of music that were like gangster rap or I don't know what else. And in conclusion, basically I just wanted to teach you guys that metal is not just one genre in itself. It's actually many subgenres that mixed with other types of music, and even the fans are different. And